Shankar. Indeed, this organization, charity organization called Samarpan, is doing a fantastic job in looking after the people with disability of Indian and South Asian background. And they were in fact recognized, their contribution was recognized by the New South Wales government recently. And to tell us more about their organization and their projects and in which way they are going to roll out these services to the people with the disability, I have with me Rajeshwari Chandran, the president, and Uday Shah, the secretary of the organization. Welcome Rajeshwari and Uday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, let's start off by asking you, first of all, how did this organization come out? When did you start it, and what was the motivation behind this?
This organization actually commenced in 2002 in a very small way. And then a small group of women.
That was almost 11 years back.
Yes.
Yes.
And a small group of mothers, we used to come together every now and then and just to hold meetings and talk about our children, because at the back of our minds was the idea that we are quite isolated. There are a lot of places that our children can't go to.
Yes.
Families are not coping with people with disability, and it would be empowering for each family to be connected with other families in the South Asian community who have similar issues. And it was with the idea of reducing the isolation, increasing the pool of knowledge about services and disability, etc., and also the need to for the children to socialize, and that was the motivation behind this.
It's a very challenging work, isn't it? Looking after children and people generally with disability.
It is extremely challenging because most people are unprepared when they have a child. They assume that their child is going to be like everyone else. So the most difficult part of it is coming to terms with the disability, that your child is never going to be able to do the kinds of things that you would normally expect a person to do.
Right.
And then it's a very long journey, and it gets easier, time goes on, but it is never easy.
Of course, Rajeshwari, you have been providing this service for the last 12 years because you started in 2012, almost 12 years. You must have undertaken a lot of projects in the past. If you can tell us a few of those projects.
Yes. Although we have been operating, or we've been in existence as a support group since 2002, we really actually came into our own in 2008, where a handful of families were able to meet and so on, and we were able to organize some support group meetings. We began to have monthly picnics and outings and so on. That is the time that Uday Shah joined in 2008. Right. And then after that, we haven't looked back, but we actually incorporated in 2012.
So that provides a lot of transparency in the way you operate by incorporating, having external and internal auditors auditing the accounts and so on and so forth.
Oh yes, we have quite stringent quite stringently regulated by the Department of Fair Trading. We are very accountable, but it has been very helpful to be incorporated. We have really moved by leaps and bounds.
Uday, of course, you joined in 2008, Rajeshwari said. What motivated you?
I've got a disabled son called Sachin, and he's an autistic child. And we found that we were very isolated and had no one to talk to, especially Sachin. He had no one to talk to, no one to play with. Generally what happens is when you have a disabled child, your friends who you have known all your life, sometimes they desert you, and also all those type of problems happen. And we came to know of Rajni's group and how they were meeting and helping each other out, and we thought that this is a great idea, and we joined them.
Okay, so that means you have a full-fledged executive committee which looks after the various projects that you are trying to pursue. Is that correct?
Yes, we have an elected management committee. We just completed our annual general body meeting, and we have a full-fledged executive, a treasurer, a president, a vice president. The vice president is Jayant Vaidya, and the treasurer and public officer is Selapa Ravindran. Uday is the secretary this year, and this year I'm the president.
Now, in the last 12 years, obviously, you have undertaken several projects, I'm sure. And how do you raise the money, and where does that money go in helping people with disability?
From 2002, we had informal meetings with just a couple of families kind of attending. From 2008, we have actually almost consistently every year been receiving a kind of a grant from Carers New South Wales to celebrate the Carers Week.
Right.
And that grant, enabled us to have a really nice picnic or some kind of an outing or lunch at a restaurant or so on.
Right.
And then Parramatta Council supported us in 2011. And we were able to conduct a forum which was very well attended. It was in Parramatta Town Hall. And after that, once we, and then we were also running, by then we had formed a social club called Mitralay, which was for people with disability. And my son has a disability. His name is Siddharth, and he and Sachin and several other young people with disability, they would meet once a month, and this was a supported kind of a social club. So the parents would go along and they would kind of facilitate the children interacting with one another.
Right.
And so those were our major activities. And we also received a grant from Hornsby Council last year, and that enabled us to carry on our Mitralay activities. And now we received the Carers Award, and the government has been, the Department of Aging, Disability and Home Care have been very generous, because the Carers Award also comes with a cash kind of an award.
Yeah, let's talk about that award. In fact, you are holding the award in your hand. Show those awards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing a fantastic job. And if Uday, you can tell us how this award came about. What is this recognition for?
This award is a recognition for caring in the society. So there are 10 individuals this year who got the award, and there were 2 organizations, and Samarpan was one of the 2 in New South Wales. And we got it as Outstanding Carer Group of the Year.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's very good. You obviously require help from various groups, people who are not only donating money but also come and volunteer and help you out with some of your projects. How are you getting those kinds of volunteers to work for you, and people who are donating money as well?
Uday has been very successful in raising money for us.
Right.
I mean, several, I think he will probably speak about that himself.
Yeah,
but
please,
we have also had a large number of committed volunteers, and they have kind of given us a lot of their time, and they have helped us. And so I think the very fact that disability, everyone is aware that it is a very serious kind of an issue.
Course, yes.
And people have been very sympathetic and been very kind of generous with their time, and of course also with money. And fundraising is a major activity. We look to government, we look to private agencies, we look to several other activities of our own, because we've got some major projects, and Ashray is the most, the biggest. It's a big ticket kind of an item, because we're looking at having accommodation, culturally appropriate accommodation for our adults with disability.
Okay. And Uday, you are helping the organization with raising funds. How do you do that?
Right. So we had like a City to Serve, and this time we had Samarpan team run in City to Serve.
Okay.
So that was one way we did. Then people in my organization, they ran the Melbourne Marathon and the New York Marathon for Samarpan. So that's a way of getting some funds. What we have also got is we got associate membership.
Right.
So what associate membership is for people who want to say that we are with you.
Okay.
So in that sense, and they commit to volunteering, commit to help in fundraising, commit to attend meetings, commit to have picnics along with people with disability. So in a sense, the isolation goes away, and plus they really help us. So some of the volunteers have even helped us to do a project for Ashray, because it needed a high level of planning and reporting, and we had some management consultant people who associated with us and helped us write that report, and we've taken it to the minister.
So what's the relationship between Ashray and Samarpan?
Ashray is a project of Samarpan.
Okay, right. And of course, those of our viewers who are looking at this program and who want to obviously come and volunteer as well as donate money, how do they do that?
They actually can contact any of us. I mean, we have got a website which is up and running. It's www.samarpan.org.au, and on the website are
samarpan.org.au. Pretty simple. Okay.
And on the website are all the phone numbers, mine and Uday's and Jayant Vaidya's, all the phone numbers, and any of us can be contacted on our phones, and they can discuss this. And of course, they can download a membership form, either a full membership if they have a family member with disability, even if it is say a sister or a nephew or niece, and or an associate member. They could become an associate member if they are just kind of supporters of Samarpan, and they could also volunteer. We have quite a few volunteers with us, and we're always looking for more.
There you go, viewers. Samarpan is doing a fantastic job, and the website and the other details are at the bottom of the screen. And both Rajeshwari and Uday have given you a call to help them out, because they need a lot of help, volunteers as well as funds. So your help would go a long way in helping Samarpan do a good job and look after those disadvantaged sections of the community. Rajeshwari and Uday, thanks very much for coming along and talking to us, and congratulations once again on your award.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.